species. I measured water chemistry, the percent cover, and ceston, which is the suspended matter within the stream. And I sampled periphyte and identified it to genus. To get into the results, at the non-mussel sites, we saw nitrogen limitation. So nitrogen was limiting algal growth. While at the mussel sites, we saw co-limitation. So it seemed as though strict nitrogen limitation was alleviated where mussels were present. So what's the mechanism? Well, I think you guys could probably guess because I've talked a lot about it, but I'm going to suggest it's muscle P. I don't know, I have my figure. So the N to P of excretion of mussels on average is 11.7. And if you have an N to P less than 20, so essentially they're increasing the N to P by 11.7. So they're making nitrogen way more available than what's in the background. And if you want any more information about this, I also did a path analysis to look at this, but I don't know if you want to look at all that, so we'll just move on. And then additionally, in addition to just seeing these differences in nutrient limitation, we also saw differences in the periphyton group representation. So at the non-mussel sites, we saw more blue-green algae. And I don't know if you guys know much about blue-green algae, also known as cyanobacteria, but they're nitrogen-fixing algae. So they can actually take atmospheric nitrogen and fix it. So at sites that were nitrogen limited, we had higher abundances of algae that could actually make their own nitrogen. And at the mussel sites, we saw a higher proportion of diatoms. And diatoms are really good food quality for things like mayflies, while blue-green algae, not so much. So they're changing the periphyton group assemblage as well. And then, so now that we know that they're changing the availability of nutrients and that there's differences in algal species composition, well, are these nutrients actually important for the actual food web? Are these nutrients moving from the mussels into algae, into bugs, into the fish? So I did an experiment to actually trace the mussel nitrogen to understand the importance of these subsidies. So in the lab, I grew mussels for over a year in these living stream channels, and I got juvenile mussels from this professor from my undergrad institute. And I fed these mussels for over a year, and algae